Hey guys, so I'm going to be doing the Furry Friends tag. Marnie, Miss Gold Girl, tagged me a long time ago. Most of you that have been watching my channel now for a while already know who and everything about what this video is going to be about, but this kind of will be fun for any new subscribers or people that aren't that familiar with my channel or haven't seen my furry friend in recent videos. But they're basically just questions about my furry friend. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to bring Jake in so you guys can all see who exactly my furry friend is and how freaking adorable he is, and then I'll get started with the questions. Takers, come on, bud. Here he comes with his favorite toy. Come on up here. Say hi, everyone. This video is going to be all about me, right? All about me. All about Jakers. Are you ready to be interviewed? Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Jakers. I love you. This used to be a huge toy and he ripped out all the stuffing. He loves this toy. Are you giving this to Mommy? Jakers, you don't want this anymore? You don't want this toy? Come get it. There you go. There you go. You're such a little cutie. I love you. Okay, you gonna go lay up on Mommy's bed? Go ahead. Go lay up on the bed. That's probably where he's going. You can listen. And he's up. Okay. So I'm going to use the questions that were in her video to make a video about my furry friend. And obviously, for the most part, I think everybody knows my most favorite animal in the world is my dog Jake. And I'm just going to tell you more about him. I get tons of questions. I shouldn't say questions, I get questioned when he's not in one of my videos, which I think is so cute. He was in my videos a lot more in the past because I first got him when I was still living at home with my parents and he was a puppy, so I always kept him in my room, which is where I filmed videos. But now that Nick and I bought a house together, Jake has like every other room in the world to go in and be in, so that's why he's not always in my videos. But I love him to death. Okay, so question number one is, what is your pet's name? Obviously, my dog's name is Jake. And what kind of pet is he and what breed? He's a dog, and he is a purebred golden retriever. He gets mistaken a lot for a yellow lab because of his coloring, but I think the proper term is either light golden retriever or English golden retriever. Either way, I'm not really sure, but his coloring is not the most common coloring. Usually golden retrievers are a really like dark burnt orange. My first dog that I grew up with named CJ was that color. And then the second dog after CJ that we had was, her name was Molly, and she was our first light golden retriever, and we've always had, well, I say we always, after Molly then there was Lucy, who you guys mostly know, and so that's kind of where that whole thing started, but I just love their coloring. How did you get your pet? Okay, so the story is that after we lost Molly, which was my golden retriever that we had up until I was a sophomore in college when she passed away. It put my whole family, it was a mess. It was awful. Molly was like our baby, and so my dad wanted to get my mom another puppy, like quickly, to kind of help her not get over it, but kind of put her mind on something else. And so we found Molly through a breeder and fell in love with the breeder in general, the way she cared for her dogs, fell in love with the colors. We were really trying to find a light golden retriever because that's what Molly was and that's what my mom really wanted. So we got Lucy from this breeder. And ever since Lucy's been a puppy, I fell in love with Lucy's mom, whose name is Phoebe. And I always said I would take Phoebe over any golden retriever puppy ever because Phoebe is just like the sweetest dog. I mean, aside from my dog, but like the sweetest little girl. She's so freaking cute and such a good looking dog. So I've always loved Phoebe. So my mom told our breeder that if she were to ever breed Phoebe again, to please keep us posted. So I think after Lucy's litter, she had two others, and my mom and dad were not getting another dog. I was still, you know, never even considering the thought of another dog. And one time our breeder called my mom and said that this is actually going to be, she's going to start breeding Phoebe's, she told us Phoebe was pregnant and this is her last litter. She was going to get her spayed after that, and Phoebe would no longer be breeding puppies, and it would now be Lucy's sister Erin was going to start breeding puppies. And when my mom told me that, again, my mom and dad did not want to get a second dog. They both work. They wouldn't have the time for a puppy. When my mom told me that, the wheels in my head started turning, and I just thought, oh my God, like, I love Phoebe so much. Lucy is perfect. I need to get one of these puppies. So then the hard part was convincing Nick, who was only my boyfriend at the time. We were not living together. And keep in mind, I've grown up with dogs my whole life. I've had a dog since I was born. And Nick has never, ever had a dog ever in his life. So he was not a dog person. Nothing against them. He just wasn't used to ever raising them, knowing anything about them. So next, my job was to convince him. And after a lot of begs and pleads and puppy dog eyes and lips, Nick agreed. And so Phoebe had her last litter. She had 2 girls and 3 boys. One of them passed away during her labor, which is really sad. And what my breeder does with her puppies is she puts colored string around their necks to kind of differentiate them. And so on our way up there, because I was still living at home and we had Lucy, we had asked the breeder, you know, what would you recommend between male or female? I've always had females my whole life, never been around a male. Nick was like dead set on a male, and I was like, ew, boys like raise their leg to pee and they're boys, and I don't know how to raise a boy. I was so against it. So we asked the breeder, like, what would get along better with having another female in the house, and she said a boy. She said if you have 2 females, they might, you know, females are females, and they might be a little jealous and bitchy. So that kind of got me thinking, and then Nick finally convinced me to go with a boy. So then the next thing was we wanted a boy puppy that was going to be really docile, really calm, because Lucy is hyper and a princess and spoiled, and we wanted someone that was just going to kind of be low-key, wasn't really going to be jealous. And the breeder, and from what our few observations to her house had seen, the little blue puppy, the blue ribbon around its neck, was the most calm. He was always like laying down away from his brothers and sisters playing. But the blue puppy was the biggest puppy. And I really had my heart and eyes set on little Brownie. I called him the brown string. So Nick and I were going back and forth. Plus, Jake, who was little boy blue at the time, his paws were huge. And I was like, he's going to be ginormous. But the breeder told us his dad was only 80 pounds. So I really wanted the brown puppy. Nick was okay with that. But then the breeder decided to keep the little boy Brown to breed him later on and possibly show him. And I guess she had someone come in and kind of like evaluate each of the dogs to show, you know, who would show the best, breed the best, whatever, and that was the brown one. So we were left with either the blue or the gray. So of course we ended up picking the blue, which was Jake at the time. And little did we know he was not docile or quiet. He was hyper and a puppy and crazy, but I would have, looking back now, I would have picked him 100,000 times over because he is the best thing that's ever happened to me. That was a really long story. So how old is your pet? He's 2.5. His birthday is January 29th, same day as Nick's mom's birthday, which is kind of funny. What are some quirky things about your pet's personality? He thinks he is a 90-pound lapdog. Literally, you could be sitting anywhere and he will try to like jump up on you and sit on your lap. He has no idea like how much he actually weighs. Another thing funny about him is he loves to be spooned, and he knows exactly how to like spoon himself. So like if I'm sleeping on the bed on my side, he will come up and like perfectly lay his body like within mine so that I cuddle him. It's the funniest thing. So he's just an attention whore. Like he just loves attention. He loves people. He loves other dogs too. One of the quirkiest things, probably the best thing, cutest thing about Jake is he smiles. Before he did it, I had never seen a smiling dog. I didn't even know that dogs could smile. I just always thought if their mouth was like open all the way that they were smiling and happy. If their tail was wagging, they were happy. But I'll never forget, it was one morning, he came downstairs and I was like, good morning. I always get so excited in the morning for him. And his like upper lip like went up like this. And I was like, are you having a stroke? Like it was the weirdest thing. He'd never done it before. I thought maybe he had something stuck in his tooth, and I'm like looking down there and there was nothing in there. And I was like, oh, maybe it was just like a fluke thing, whatever. He started doing it like every morning, or if like I hadn't seen him in a while, or when I would put his food down, he was like so excited. He always does this thing, and then I started realizing, like, oh my god, he's smiling, and it's only around certain people. He does it for Nick and I haven't really seen him do it for anyone else. He's done it in a few of my videos, which I point out, and it kind of looks like a snarl, and a couple people have pointed that out, but he's like smiling, like his tail's going crazy, and it's always in the mornings or when we put down his food. He's like so excited, and his little upper lip goes on, like he's like trying so hard to smile. It's the cutest thing I've ever seen. And one other kind of quirky thing about him that I forgot is he always like says thank you with a lick, 20,000 licks on your face. Like when you give him a food, or you give him a new toy, or you give him a bone or a milk bone or something, he will like drop it and lick your face to say thank you, and then go over and like play with his toy or eat his bone or whatever. Like he always says thank you. He loves when my dad gives him apples. Like him and Lucy will sit down in front of my dad, and my dad will like peel and cut up an apple for them. Whenever he's done, whenever you say all done, Jake, and like you show him that there's no more, he wants to lick your face, and my dad's always like, what are you doing? And I'm like, put your face down. He wants to lick your face. And sure enough, whenever my dad puts his face near his, he like licks him as like a big thank you. He is such a kisser. Would never hurt a fly, but I think the smiling and him like licking to say thank you after every little thing that you do special for him is like the cutest thing. He's just like a ball of affection. I can't even describe to you. I've never, in the past 3 dogs, including Lucy, that I have ever been around, no one has ever been like him. And it's funny because had Nick not convinced me to go with a male, I probably would have went with a female, but now I will honestly tell you that I will always, always have a male. I'd eventually like to get another one, maybe have a brother and sister, but regardless, when and if that ever happens, I will always in my lifetime always have a male golden retriever, because I just think there's something special and different about them. Nothing against females. I love my Lucy to death, but they're just, their personalities, it's just something different. And even in the car, like in the car, he is so good. Lucy is a ball of nerves. She loves going. She gets so excited, but then she's like drooling and panting and crazy. And when Jake's in the car, you don't even know he's in there. Like he just lays down in the back seat, falls asleep. He sits up like a, you know, like a big boy, and he's so cute. I just, this video really wasn't supposed to go on long, but I could seriously talk all day about my dogs. I love him so much. What does your relationship with your pet mean to you? Jake is my baby, and I've said this before, but like he's the best thing that's ever happened to me. You know, you love someone and they love you back, but like with pets, people say it all the time, dogs especially, like they have this unconditional love that no matter, I could like leave the house for 5 seconds, go get the mail and come back, and he greets me the same way he would greet me if I was like gone for a week's vacation and came back home. He's always right at the door to greet you. I mean, you could be having like the worst day ever and you just see Jake and you're just like, I don't even care what just happened today. Like I am here with you, and I just love him. Like I have loved a lot of people in my life, including my fiance and my family, brothers and parents, and there's just nothing like this love for Jake. Like, not that I love any of them any less, but it's just like different, and they never get mad at you. Like they love you regardless. They just love you unconditionally. I don't know how else to explain it, and I love him. Like he brightens every single day. He wakes me up every morning. He falls asleep with me at night. I just love him. Like I could not imagine my world without him. And it's funny because Nick always says like he was never a dog person, but he can never imagine his life without Jake. He just brings so much fun and joy and happiness and smiles, and he's just like the perfect, he's like my baby. Whereas Lucy is like my best friend, my little sister. Like I love her and I have this amazing bond with her, but like Jake is my baby. Like I am so protective and always worried about him, and just, what does it mean? I don't know. It's everything. He's everything to me. I couldn't imagine Nick's in my life without him. Like if it was just, even there's sometimes where like he'll spend the night at my parents' house so him and Lucy can like have a sleepover, and like I get so sad like when he's not in the house. His presence just brings like, I don't know, and I think you guys can kind of tell from when he's around me, like I just light up. What are some of your favorite pastimes with your pet? Probably walking and swimming, and I love taking him to the pet store. It's like Toys R Us for dogs. And he's so good because he always meets other dogs there, and he gets to sniff the whole store out and picks out like his favorite treats and toys. He gets so excited when he goes there. But I would say like Nick and I take him on walks every night together, and it's just like nice time together. And definitely swimming. He's like the funniest thing ever in the pool. I'll have to put up my video, my Jake and Lucy video that I had from a while ago. I'll have to put that up because I've had a lot of requests to put that back up. But Jake likes to be, he'd rather be held in the pool than swim, whereas Lucy's like Michael Phelps and she swims laps. Jake just like is like a big, he just wants you to hold him and he'll claw at you if you don't hold him. I could show you my stomach right now from this past weekend. I have like 3 big scratches going down because he just wanted me to hold him. He'll like, if I put him on a raft, he'll just like float around the whole day. It's the funniest thing ever. What are nicknames that you call your pet? I call him Jakers. You guys have all heard me say that. That's probably the most common nickname. My brother Jamie calls him Jacob, which isn't really a nickname. Bubby, I call him Bubby. Hi, Bubby. But like puppy, but Bubby. I don't know, that's weird. That is it. Those are all of the questions. That is my Furry Friends tag about my Jake. I will tag anybody that has a pet that wants to post a video response with their furry friends. Doesn't necessarily have to be a dog, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon.